Hi folks. So I wanted to do a series of videos slash post just answering some of the more basic questions about the markets and addressing what I think, and hopefully after these you will agree, are misconceptions about market, price behavior and that kind of thing. The first one I'd like to address, or the one that I'd like to address in this video, I should say, is, are market prices random? Right now, presumably you have this question as well. Otherwise, my guess is you wouldn't have clicked on this particular video. And the short answer to that question is, in my opinion, no. Securities prices are not random. They don't just jump around sporadically, from 22,000 to 25,600 and then back to 24,001 or something like that, right? On all time frames, in my opinion, again, securities prices trend. Now, that assumes a couple of things. Number one, it assumes that they are not manipulated. It also assumes that they're not illiquid, or transversely that they are sufficiently liquid, right? Meaning that there are enough transactions in the security such that no one person or entity can control or dictate where the price is at any given time. So assuming you have those two kind of basic criteria met, I think that prices tend to trend over all different time frames and in different ways. But if I'm correct in that, right, at any given moment, a security is generally moving in one direction or another, then by definition, prices cannot be random. Okay. Here we have the YM contract, right? And this is the monthly chart. And I'm just going to walk down in time frames, and we can take a look, and you can kind of reach your own conclusion about whether or not the security has random price movement, or if maybe there's something else going on, right? So this is the monthly, as I said, and in my opinion, from here to here, prices are generally moving higher. Now, understand that this is April of 2018 up to what was this, October, right? So over that time frame, it looks like prices were trending higher. Then from here, this candle down to here, right, prices were trending lower, right? It was a little bit disjointed, but I think the movement is clear, right? And the result is obviously very clear, right? And then since it kind of bottomed out here and closed here, prices have moved back to, or appear to be moving back to, trending higher, right? Now we're going to drop down in time frame. This is the monthly. We're going to drop down to the weekly, right, and take a look and see what we think here, right? So you can see here, again, price was trending down. You could argue that it turned here and then turned again here, but ultimately trended all the way down to here. And then we had a much cleaner trend back to the upside from this period. So this was December, right? That's when the market bottomed out. The overall market bottomed out from the swoon that began in October of 2018. And then we lifted and pushed back to the upside, right? So let's go to the daily. I don't want these videos to get too long, so I'm going to kind of push through this. And you see here, price moved nicely to the upside, right? Which corresponds with what we knew to be the case, right? And again, we could go back to October and see that prices were trending down, and they were trending higher from December to here, right? So let's drop down once again. Now let's do kind of intraday, and let's look first at the 4-hour chart. And you can see, it won't go back any further, but you can see clearly that this was a move to the upside. We went sideways. I would call this a bull flag, but that's a chart pattern. We'll talk about that more at some other time. But we went sideways and began to move. We're beginning to move higher again, right? If I look at the 2-hour chart, you're going to see much the same thing. Let's pick up the pace here. See, up, sideways, up, right? And then at the 60, which is the 1-hour chart, of course. Right, so up the side, this is more pronounced. One could argue that from here to here, we were kind of generally moving down. And then from here to here, we have reestablished and are moving back to the upside. Let's go down a little bit further. Let's go, you know what, let's just go to the 15-minute, which is kind of like the chart that I watch intraday with the folks in my trading room. And you can see here, right, all of the kinds of things that we were talking about. Now, does it look like it gets a bit more random here? Yes, right? But there is a general direction, right, to price, right? And the kind of intra-period reversals, right, we tend to look at more as opportunities, right? So if we think price is generally moving higher, right, and it pulls back like this and then gives us a signal back to the upside, right, that's an opportunity, right? This is an opportunity, right? If we think that prices are generally moving higher, right? Let's drop down one more time so that this video already got longer than I wanted it to. 5 minutes, you can see here, right, much the same thing. And again, right, if you think of it that way, these pullbacks are opportunities, right? Whether they're retracements to the upside, down, retrace up, down, or up and pulling back, right? So up, pull back, pull back, up, pull back, right? Now, it is not easy to identify and trade those things real time, right? I'm not suggesting that it is easy to do that. But what I am suggesting is that prices do trend. They tend to trend. And I think they trend more often than they're kind of stable, kind of moving sideways, right? Because random would have you kind of doing like this, right? But basically to the side. And I just don't think that that is the case. And hopefully after this video, you agree. All right. So that's it. We'll see you at the next kind of interesting question. Take care.